Hello and welcome back. My name is Nate Guadani. Today we're going to do hip circles. This is a really important area of our body. The hips are prone to injuries. As we age, they can get arthritic. Hip replacements are becoming more common than ever. And one reason also is the sacroiliac joint. So where your sacrum, which is the bone right in the middle here, meets your ilium, the hips, there's a joint on each side, the SI joint as it's called, and it's a big shock absorber. And so this takes a lot of pressure and it can cause a lot of problems. If this gets inflamed or arthritic, there can be a lot of pain, and it's really hard to avoid because you're always moving your back and your hips through normal everyday activities. So this exercise is supposed to open up and kind of lubricate and nourish this area through gentle circles. So the way to do it is to use the balance bar as a support on the sacrum to support your hips as it goes in a circle. So let me show you. Start with a comfortable stance. It can be a little wider than hip width. It's okay to point your toes out slightly also. And you just bring your balance bar down to around the sacrum height. Now this is one where I do recommend the padded flexible version, but you could do this with a regular stick or something rigid, and it'll probably work just fine. The padding may be better though for your comfort. So you bring your balance bar to your sacrum, which is, again, it's above your tailbone, but it's below your lumbar. So it's right in the middle. It's about the size of your hand, and it's a very strong, stable point, a very strong bone and a place that you can put pressure. So your hands, elbows, and shoulders are lined up, and you're pressing into your sacrum. Now you just make circles with your hips, and you keep your head centered. So your hips can go back, sideways, and here's where the balance bar helps you. As you come forward, you can support your sacrum so you're not straining your lower back. And then you continue to the side, back, and just continue around like this in a circle. Start off nice and slow. Alright, and then you can speed it up or you can increase the range of motion as you warm up. But start slowly. Now you can also change the effect of this by either widening your stance or bending or straightening your legs. So the wider your stance and the straighter your legs, the more intense the sensations will be. Now it's likely you're going to feel this stretching also on your inner thighs, outer hips, the quads and the hamstrings, so all four sides of your legs. You might feel it in your lower back. So the idea is to warm up, to lubricate, and to nourish this whole area, the SI joints, your hips, and all the connective tissue around there. So when you're ready now, reverse and go the other way. So it's really important that your bar is not on your lumbar curve. So it's not on the part of the spine that curves in like this, okay? It's below that. But it's not down on your tailbone either. So find the center, the sacrum. Alright, so go the other direction. And you can notice my head's moving a little bit. But what I see a lot of times is when people do this, they tend to keep their hips still and they move their upper body around like this. Okay? This is still a nice movement, but it's not the one that I'm recommending. So there's some benefit to it, but if you keep your head still and then you isolate your hips and move them around, you're going to get much more direct contact, much more direct sensation and movement through this area we're trying to target around your hips. Okay? So try to keep your head fixed. One way to do that is to look at something and keep it still. So if your head's moving, the thing you're looking at is moving too. So keep your eyes fixed on something, circle around about 5 or 10 times each direction. Alright, so again, you can adjust your feet width, wider, closer. If you bend your knees a little bit, that's going to make it easier on your back. So do this in a way that feels comfortable. Make sure you're not overdoing it. Make sure there's no pain in your back, hips, or knees. Now for this one, this is perfectly fine. Pretty much the same if you use it with a 4-footer, the travel bar, or the 6-footer, because you're generally not using the full length of the bar. So this is perfectly fine to use it with any size balance bar. Okay, so circling around. And as you do this more, you'll get the hang of it and you'll get a feeling for how far to go. One thing to notice is you'll probably feel lopsided. You'll probably feel like one side is more open, the other side more stiff. As you circle around, you might find a certain angle the front right or the back left is really tight or stiff. So just slow down on those areas. Sometimes if you just wait for it, it will release and open. So this can be a really powerful way to get into the hips, to feel what's going on there, and to just gently massage and encourage it to become more resilient, more open. The synovial fluid gets into the joint, helps clean and nourish, and really helps this cartilage and the whole joint area. So hopefully that can help your hips feel better, healthier, and happier. And I hope you enjoy it. Thanks so much. See you next time.